Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I've cried. And maybe down my last time. Yeah, but the blues to me just fine.
Need to get done.
The
Could
whole
you
time.
start the goddamn podcast?
Every fucking week. All right.
Waiting on you. Start the podcast.
I pressed the button, man. We're going.
Would you do the intro?
Oh, the intro.
Unbelievable.
Yes. Welcome to the KGXT studios, 200 feet below occupied California. This is the Gen X Talks podcast, starring a trained broadcast professional and some chick who can't get off her phone.
Hey. That's not very nice.
I'm not trying to be nice right now. I'm trying to whip your ass in shape. That's what we're doing around. It's like, you got to think of this as like boot camp, and I'm doing everything I can to get you back up to speed.
Oh, Lord.
We used to have a new tagline for that. KGXT Studios. This is not your father's Oldsmobile.
Okay.
Well, some old people will get that. Some old people like me, they'll understand what that means.
Okay. What would you like to talk about today?
Oh, I don't even care. You've screwed up my whole day. You've screwed up everything we're doing, and now you're not even. It's like I'm dragging you across. You know, would you like to participate?
I loved watching Pirates of the Caribbean with you last night. The first one.
Yeah. Speaking of that, because that was good.
Speaking of that.
Pizza and we had pizza and soda. Mine wasn't real soda because I don't want MarcyZavala.com to call me and go, "You had soda."
I didn't have a soda. I didn't even have pizza.
No, no.
I was a good girl last night.
You were. But there's like a thing on my phone now that talks about Pirates of the Caribbean reboot.
What?
How can they do? Is that a real thing? Do you think? Is that
Why would they want to redo something that's really good? Because we watched the first one.
We did,
and
yeah.
That started the whole series and everything, and it was really good. I mean, I was even laughing last night at certain things.
Like we just saw it for the
I caught a
first
dinger
time.
too.
Yeah, we caught two last night. What did you catch last night watching that?
Barbosa says he doesn't feel.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can't taste.
The curse. We can't taste. We can't feel. We have no sense. Yeah, he made a big deal about that.
And then she took off her dress that he gave her and handed it to him later in the movie, and he goes, "It's still warm." How would he know?
Yeah.
He can't feel.
You know what? I've watched that movie 1,000 times. I never caught that. And then you caught it last night. But then I caught one too. Remember towards the beginning of the movie when she's sitting there, I can't, what's her name?
Keira Knightley.
Yeah, but now I can't. Miss Swan. Elizabeth Swan. When Elizabeth Swan gets on the pirate ship in the bay, they're in Port Royal in the bay.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, you're here after this trinket." He's like, "No, we don't care about that gold trinket."
Oh yeah, you did.
And she goes, "Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just drop it in the water." And she lets it slip through her fingers, and they all panic. Oh,
Right.
whoa. And she's like, "Oh, see, you do want the trinket." But then we find out later in the movie that they can walk on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, and they can breathe.
They can breathe underwater.
And they can stay underwater forever.
They walked all the way out of the cave of treasure to the Dauntless, climbed up the ropes, and started killing everybody. Wait a minute. If you can walk across the bottom and you're in a harbor, okay, this isn't 1,000 feet deep.
Right.
This is maybe 50 feet
So she
deep.
could have dropped it.
She could have dropped it, and they could have just jumped over, picked it up out of the water.
Exactly.
But she's making it sound like they're over the Marianas Trench or something, and they're not going to be.
They still could go get it.
But they probably
Because
couldn't
they're
see.
dead.
Well, I know, but
Cursed, whatever.
you probably couldn't see at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, but I'm pretty sure you could see at the bottom of Port Royal in the daylight.
That's true. Absolutely.
Well, anyway.
All right. Well, do your plug for MarcyZavala.com.
I got to tell you, and this is, again, not a paid sponsorship. We have talked to you guys a lot about Marcy Zavala and how she has gotten rid of pain. All of us are in pain. All of us younger, we fell off the merry-go-rounds when we were kids. We burned ourselves down the metal slides. We got it. We tumbled and broke our bones, but we're paying for it now when we're older. You know, this hurts. And plus, I'm a big fat guy, so mine hurts even worse. I'm going to tell you, for the first time, I am starting to feel a lot less pain in my joints because of her program.
That's awesome.
Now you've been on the thing for a while. Mm-hmm. So some of your pain that was lasting 10 years after your cancer,
joint pain,
is gone now, almost gone.
It's gone. It's really rare that it pops up. I mean, maybe here and there, but not like it was, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
No, you were miserable. There was nights you couldn't even sleep at night.
Absolutely not.
And I didn't believe, not that I don't believe Marcy. I love Marcy. I know she's right. I know she's super smart. But it's just like, okay, you're not really going to take away anybody's pain.
But she's constantly learning. That's when I talk to her, she tells me she's always taking classes, because you have to think medicine changes all the time.
Yeah.
So she keeps taking classes and reading, and she's constantly reading up on stuff and debunking other things and seeing if something works. And so, yeah, she's always learning. So she's not going to be an old school doctor that is set in her ways, or she's a physical therapist that's set in her ways. Yeah. She's always changing.
That was funny when Dr. McDreamy, her husband, first we were all kind of talking about maybe him, taking over our medical care or helping. You remember one of the first questions he asked us years ago? He goes, "How old's your doctor?" I thought that was an odd. Well, who cares how old mine? He's an old guy. He's really schooled. He's educated.
That's right.
And then Dr. McDreamy goes, "Yeah, you got to get rid of him. Even if you don't use me, you got to get a younger thinking guy." And I'm like, "That's bullshit, man." He goes, "No, it's not." He goes, "Old school doctors, once they've got their education, once they've got their training, once they've been in the world for years, they kind of stick with what they know."
Right.
Well, what happens if new stuff comes up? I mean,
they don't want to learn. They don't want to go back.
They probably read the trade magazines, but that's not going to cut it. It's not. You got to go further than that.
Right.
So that was his first question: is how old is your doctor? And I thought he was being it's kind of a dick question. How's your doctor? He was right.
What's his cutoff of old? Are we there yet? Because he's our age, so
yeah,
he could consider old.
He could tell us you're not allowed to self-medicate just on the fact you're too old. You don't know what you're doing. He could tell us that right off the bat.
When is he considered an old doctor? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. When do we tell him, "Hey, doc, I can't.
We got to trade you in.
You're old. You got to trade you in."
Well,
you know what? When I'll tell you, you can trade him in when he hits 60. You can trade him in for 2 30s.
Oh.
2 30-year-old doctors. That'll be
two Mr. Dr. McDreamy.
2 Mr. McDreamies. So that was one thing that I am all of a sudden, now that I'm following the program better, I'm guarantee 100% I'm feeling less joint pain. I'll give you an example. I couldn't stand with my big fat natural white ass. If you had me do something where we were in a group setting with our family, our friends or whatever, and I have to stand there, I'm good for about 15 minutes. And then it's like, okay, my knees, my ankles, my hips, it starts to hurt. And I go, look, I got to sit down. No big deal, because normally things we're doing, I'm sitting. But the other day, I had to go downtown. I had to go to the tax assessor's office, and I had some questions on some stuff we were doing. I didn't agree with them. Of course, I lost because kind of what they say goes. But I did have some questions. The problem is that the line to get in the building and then the line at the office I wanted to go to, I had to stand for an hour and 20 minutes. Now, I couldn't do it. I called you. I sent you a couple pictures. I was in such pain. I was sweating.
Yes.
And when I got home, I barely made it out to the truck. I climbed into the truck. I'm dying. I'm huffing. I can barely get there. And then all of a sudden I got on the phone with you and saying, "Okay, I did the thing. I looked it up. I wasn't right in what I was thinking here. We got it straightened out. Everything's good." And then I remember thinking, first I was mad that I had to stand there for so long. I was dying. I literally thought I was going to pass out. I was sweating through my shirt. My hair was sweating. My bones were aching. And I kept getting closer to the line, and I kept getting closer. But when it was all over, I thought, you know what? I did it.
So you did.
I actually stood there for that hour and 20 minutes, and there is no possible way I could have done that before.
Yep.
So even suffering through this, it's the things that Marcy has done for our pain, you more than me. But and also my weight loss right now, I updated the fat guy page for those of you.
I was going to ask you if you did.
I did. I finally
went watch for it.
Oh, they get mad too. And so they kind of quietly went away. So I snuck back on there and I updated the fat guy page. If you guys go to genxtalks.com, way at the bottom, there's a link called Fat Guy, and it just updates what I'm doing. And I fucked up last month pretty bad, but I came back and I wrote a paragraph on what I'm doing, and I'm even lower. I'm 2 pounds lower today than what I wrote that the other day.
What was the other day?
407 or 408. One of the two. I wrote that, and I'm 2 pounds under that now.
Nice.
And I am closing in on just getting under 4 bills and going into the 3. So once in about a week or so, when someone asks how fat I am, how much I weigh, I'm going to be able to say, 3 and some change.
Good. I hope you continue. You got to shed that whole person off of you. You realize you're walking around with a person on your shoulders.
Well, if you know what, when you fell out of love with me years ago, I needed someone to be my friend. So I got fat and I created a whole nother person.
Who's better to have as your friend but another you? Right?
Well, that's the way I feel. Nobody loves me like I do.
Exactly. That's what it is.
I'm just I won't bring up my peak weight because it was really embarrassing.
Let's not. You're going in the right direction.
But I'm moving in the right direction. I think another week I will cross over that milestone. And you have to admit the energy I've had
much better
in the last 6 or 8 days has been phenomenal.
Much better.
I mean, even when I have trouble sleeping at night on some stuff, I'm still up and going. And that has not been the case. There's 2 yawns. If I count the one.
This is later in the day, man.
So what? You always have an excuse. What happens when we're out here early and you yawn? It's early. Oh, for God's sake.
Are you
anyway,
done?
Well, I just
MarcyZavala.com.
MarcyZavala.com. I'm not kidding. We don't get paid by her at all. But if you guys have pain,
just talk to her.
If you guys,
really, just have a conversation with her. It doesn't cost anything.
There's no booklet. There's no pamphlet. She has to evaluate you. There's you can't just say, send me the brochure. There's not a chart you can tape to your refrigerator.
She'll talk to you for free. You don't have to, doesn't spend any money. Just have a conversation with her and she'll be honest with you and go, yes, I can help you, or no,
right,
I can't. She's very, very honest. But it's just great to sit down and have somebody just listen to you.
The other one is that Dr. McDreamy about 3 months ago took over your hormones.
Yes, against his religion. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
no, it was. He doesn't
treat women.
No, he doesn't. He just does guys, does his thing. But he did this for you because he loves you and he'll take care of you. But I was complaining and bitching about your hormone stuff. It wasn't working.
And it costs so much money.
And it costs so much money every month because your pills do.
Stop spending money.
Okay, I will attest to after the last 3 days, I will keep spending this money.
Oh, this is now on the air and on video now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You kind of, I don't know how to describe it. You walk around with kind of a smirk, and at any minute, at any minute, that little glimmer in your eye can spark you to do something. Just like when we first got married, you got that look in your eye.
Well,
the bad part is that your actions.
Thank Damon for that.
I'm doing it right now. I'm thanking Dr. McDreamy right now. But what I'm saying is that your actions are a little misguided. I like the intention. I like what you're thinking. I like that spark is back. But I don't like it when you walk up and grab my boobs.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how when it flips, you're a little uncomfortable.
I wonder
why. Now you know how we feel.
No. You guys like that.
We do not like guys coming up and squeezing our boobs.
Oh, yeah?
All the time.
Well, you just preface all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like it ever.
We know.
Okay.
We don't like it either.
You
guys come around and you tap them on the ass, grab our ass, grab our tits, whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, come on. But then you see, here's the deal. As soon as we stop doing it, I walk by you. If I don't tap you on the ass, you're like, are you mad at me?
Yeah, exactly.
Pick
That's
one.
A girl for you.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, so the weight loss coming off, pain going away, friskiness factor going through the roof. Well done there, Dr. McDreamy. Yeah. A++. I do have a question. You sent me a picture about an hour ago.
I did.
I think it was you. It was about like sleeping on your left side versus your right side. But you didn't say... I couldn't see which one was the problem.
Didn't you? You're supposed to sleep on your left side. If you looked at the picture and read it.
I did read it. It just said, here's what happens on your left. Here's what happens on your right. It didn't say if it was bad or good.
Your right is bad. Laying on your left side is better for you.
Here's how I roll.
It explains a lot of how you feel.
I got it. I'm just saying, when I lay down in bed, we've already talked about the pillow fort I build.
Unbelievable.
I lay on my right side for about 90 minutes. Then I go to my left side for about half an hour. Then it's back to my right side. That's all I can do. I can't physically lay there.
Well, you better read up on it because it's going to help you.
Why? So I can feel worse about how I'm sleeping? Thanks. That's what I need. More
if you sleep
anxiety.
on your left side, you'll feel even better.
Are you not listening? I can't.
I don't care if you can't. You've got to try.
Wow.
Reinvent the wheel, babe. Reinvent the wheel. You could do it.
So
wait a minute.
What?
My turn.
Okay, go.
Stop.
All right, I'm stopping. Sorry.
I am so tired of the stupid shower drawings today.
Yeah, it's messy.
You literally wrote on every piece of glass we have. We have a glass enclosed shower.
Yeah.
Is there any? There was not. It was all.
It was even towards the bottom because I needed more room. I know.
Yes, I know.
I know.
I want to scream.
No. Hey, funny you should say that because that's what I was doing.
What?
That's complete.
I'm going to make you clean it.
Okay.
Have you ever cleaned a shower glass door?
Well, of course.
Bullshit.
I have. Listen.
You have not.
Not
in our marriage. I can't even remember the last time. So I don't know when you did it. When your mom scolded you? She probably didn't have a glass shower.
I was trying to draw out. I had an idea. Since you said scream, that's kind of funny you said that. I had an idea on if you could catch a scream or a noise.
Oh boy.
Well, now hold on. Here's my thought. Hear me out on this. Okay.
You've been watching Monsters, Inc. then.
Because
they catch screams.
Well, yeah, but that's a cartoon. I mean, I'm talking about trying to do it in real life.
Okay, for what reason?
I don't know why I wanted to do it, but if you're out in the woods and you scream, it doesn't go forever.
Okay.
It dissipates, right? Because it's like travels out in the air.
Sound travels, yes.
And it travels on air, and then it dissipates it over a distance. So what if you had, because like in space, you can scream, but you couldn't hear anything because there's no air to travel. There's no sound can't travel across the air.
I'm trying to follow you. Let's go.
Okay.
Catching a scream. Go ahead.
So if you could scream or catch a noise inside of a jar, it doesn't travel and leave and dissipate. It doesn't go out forever. It's still in there. Why would it go away if you screamed in a jar? It's not like screaming outside.
Okay, purpose.
Now, see, you keep asking me why. I don't know why. That doesn't matter. I can invent something to do with it later.
What is going on in your brain? Is this just stuff that you just have to get out?
I'm telling you that there's no, I'm trying to figure out the science on why a loud noise, a bang or a scream dissipates in the air over distance. And how come if I shrank the distance, if I made a bottle or a jar and you scream into it, how come it wouldn't stay in there till you open it?
I don't know.
I mean, even if it was bouncing around, it would still be bouncing around. It's not going to go anywhere.
I don't know.
Well, see, that's what I was trying to work out in the shower.
Don't do that anymore.
What?
Don't do that anymore.
Okay, that's my one spot I can be creative.
You know what? Then you're cleaning the glass window.
You're stifling my creativity.
Yep, I am.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
More work for me.
Look, I don't mess up the whole shower every time. This one was, I couldn't get anywhere. This one was taking a lot of thought. Normally, I can figure this shit out. I run out of the shower. I start writing stuff down because I'm close. I'm close to solving the mystery. This one, I didn't get. I didn't get anywhere.
My head hurt.
You know, that's a real thing. There's no reason.
There's a real thing that my head hurts. Yes, it's called a headache.
It's a real thing of what I'm talking about.
Okay,
it's like a possibility. I haven't worked out the mechanics of it yet. That's what I'm trying to say.
Good luck with that.
So what I was going to tell you is, a little bit ago, I called up the heating air conditioning guy because we got to put some coolers on the warehouse downtown. And so I called up and all I said was, hey, I said, I need a swamp cooler. And I'm having this conversation. The dude's got to be like 30.
Yeah.
35. He goes, what's a swamp cooler?
Oh, Lord.
And all of a sudden, I drew a blank. I went, "Oh shit! What are they really called?" Because that's what I've
What
always
are they called now?
The evaporative cooler. That's what they're called. You have to look it up. If you go to Amazon or it's Home Depot or
My dad called it both.
It's an evaporative cooler. I don't even know what their name is.
I remember my dad taking the pads out of it.
Yep, that's a swamp cooler. And I think the reason they call it a swamp cooler is because maybe that's just like a California thing. Maybe they don't call it a swamp cooler in Louisiana.
Oh, maybe.
Because in California, if you use a swamp cooler, all of a sudden the humidity in your house goes way up and it smells like a swamp.
It does.
So maybe they called it a swamp cooler. It cools it, but it smells swampy. It's a swamp cooler. Maybe that's the only place they call it that. But this dude was from, I think it was from Arizona, had no idea what a swamp cooler was. And I went, oh shit. And then for some reason, I couldn't remember the word evaporative cooler right at that second. Like,
maybe swamp cooler slang.
Yeah, it could be, but still.
So it's central air or evaporative cooling.
Well, see, I need to Google. I just got to put that into Home Depot. Got to go to their app. I'm just going to
swamp.
I'm going to put in swamp cooler and see if it comes up with an evaporative cooler.
Probably nothing.
No, it'll know. Home Depot will know. They'll be like, I know what you're talking about, buddy. I got you covered there. They'll know. So I don't know whether that made me feel old or just made me feel Californian. But anyway.
I don't know. Well, we survived the weekend. A lot of our kids were here this past weekend, plus a granddaughter.
Yeah.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
So much nicer.
Oh, she was so funny.
Yeah, she was great.
I don't know who watched the live stream, but we had family night on the live stream on Bottom of the Glass Nation on Saturday night.
We put cameras on all the kids, microphones on all the kids, went around the room sharing
and
stories.
The granddaughter. She was the bestest.
That was funny because is she 5? She's 5, right?
She is 5, turning 6.
We put her with the little set of headphones on and a microphone. And we said, I have to keep things simple with her because she's 5. I said, so, who's your favorite, mommy or daddy? And she said, mommy. And ask her stuff like that. I said, what makes you happy? And she goes, oh, donuts.
Donuts. Because that was immediate. Yeah.
Donuts make me happy. I said, what makes you sad? And then she looks down. She hides her eyes and she goes, I'm sad because I'm poor. How do you hold back your laughter when a 5-year-old...
And she was serious.
Oh, she was dead serious. She was like getting ready to cry. I'm sad
and us as grandparents are going, what?
Oh, yeah. We're mad at our kids. How did you let this happen? What's wrong with you?
What aren't you telling us?
So we kind of tried to skip through that one, but man, she was...
But we found out why.
Yeah, well, we were playing family games. It was either that night. I think it was later that night.
Yeah, it was later that night.
And our daughter was just pissed at her husband.
Yes.
The whole night. And I'm like, why are you so mad? And she goes, he knows why I'm mad.
Our son-in-law just got real quiet.
Our son-in-law got his ass reamed. And he goes, I'm in trouble because when our daughter answered on the live stream, said she was sad because she was poor, I got my ass handed to me. And I said, well, why did she say that? And he goes, because whenever she asks me for something, I go, we can't afford that. We're poor.
Yes.
So she'll quit asking him. Obviously, if you can't afford it and you're poor, your 5-year-old daughter will quit asking you for shit.
But she's literal.
But she took that to heart.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of our oldest son has a boy, and I think he's 7 now.
Yes.
But when he was 5, they were trying to move out of their apartment and buy a house, and him and his mother were kind of arguing about it, going, we need a house. We can't afford a house. We can't buy a house.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have enough money for a house. We're trying to save for a house. He comes down the hallway at 5 years old with his piggy bank.
Of coins.
And goes, you can have this. Will this help?
Oh.
I'll give you this money. Will this help, Dad?
There's probably $20 in it.
I'll help. But he was old enough to register that money was a problem.
Right.
And that was keeping them from having a house. So he was doing his part. I'm telling you, kids pay attention to more shit than we pay attention to them.
The other one was our granddaughter this last weekend. She comes down the stairs on Sunday morning and I noticed her dad was in the hallway and I'd come downstairs and we were chit-chatting. I said, why don't you run upstairs? I go, your mom's in the shower. Go tell your daddy he can have the downstairs shower because it's open.
Right.
And she says, no, my mommy and daddy shower together. I was like, oh, really? I said, okay. I said, well, I guess never mind. So then...
Didn't she say something like, that's what
That's what mommies and daddies do.
Oh, that's right.
Mommies and daddies
That's what
shower
mommies and
together.
daddies do, she said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then our daughter comes down and son-in-law, and I said, you guys better watch what you do because your little 5-year-old little parrot is going to tell everybody at school
And
and
your
whoever she
teachers.
talks to. And
Right.
they went, what? I said, well, I explained, that our son-in-law could go downstairs and shower, and I was informed that you guys shower together. Our daughter turned beet red, and our son-in-law was laughing, and she's like, but we don't do that at other people's houses. Like, Mom, we don't do it here. And I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
she you came and said she told something about me.
Who did something?
You did, that she continued that story about me.
But what? Remind me.
That it says, you said something about that she came downstairs and she was inquiring about me, like, do you shower with Pop or something? And
Oh, that's
how do you not? Do you
I
not?
don't remember. It's been a while. I know. So,
God, I swear,
chemo brain.
you're the one who has to tell me the story because I wasn't there.
I just remembered. I remember. Okay, so then she looks at me and she goes,
You're the granddaughter.
the granddaughter, she goes, do Papa and you don't shower together, right? He's a big man. That's what she says to me. And I went,
So
not answering that question.
first she asked if we showered together because we're married, since
Yes.
that's what married couples do.
Right.
And then she just points out that,
You're a big man.
and
I don't know if Papa and you would fit.
yeah, okay. Well, there's nothing embarrassing about that story, except for the fact you couldn't remember what was written down. I swear to Christ Almighty, I've asked you, are you ready to go?
I did.
Then pick up your shit, man. I swear
what?
to you, fucking up everything I'm doing in life.
Stop it. I won't go on the live stream tonight.
Then I won't go on the live stream tonight.
Fine.
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 I'm fine with that.
We're done.
You know what? It's not like that story was too bad, even though that you told it differently to me before. But you're the one that weekend with all the kids over. You scarred our son.
Well, yeah, I kind of did.
You came in to our bedroom when I
Right.
was at my desk and I'm working.
Right.
And you wanted something. I don't even remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was either.
But I told you no.
Yes.
And you're like, please. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. We're not going, not spending the money, something. I said, I'm not doing
I
it.
can't remember what it was.
So what did you do?
I was like sitting on your lap.
Nope. Not even
I
close.
pulled down my pants.
You did. And you put your butt in my face.
I did.
And you're jiggling it around. And I'm going, no. And I'm slapping
I
your
did.
butt, trying to tell you to put your pants back
And
up.
who comes around the corner?
Your son, our
Our
oldest son.
29-year-old son comes whipping around the corner and went, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mom, stop.
Ah, shoot, he's old enough.
Yeah, well, that's
He'll get over it.
that was the same son that like 20 years ago walked into the hotel room.
That was his fault.
That was his fault. Yeah.
Without knocking.
Right. He walked
in.
into our suite of the hotel room and there you are with the girls out.
Well,
Yeah. He didn't knock.
that's his problem.
But he would have, he's never forgot to knock,
Yes.
but he didn't have to not knock. You left the door open all the way down the hallway.
I did.
He turned the corners like, Mom.
I did. Yep, that's true. That is
So
true.
the kids left with some stories this weekend. That's for sure.
I know. It was fun. It went by really fast, but it was a fun weekend.
It did. Sorry I ruined your breakfast this morning.
Yeah, you did. You owe me a breakfast. I was really looking forward to eggs, some sausage,
Yeah, but I didn't ruin very much.
hot coffee,
I didn't ruin much of a breakfast.
all of it.
No, I wasn't ruining very much. You weren't asking for very much.
I just asked for Denny's.
I know. So
'cause I was trying to help you out so that you can sit at a table and I could have a hot breakfast. I wouldn't have to make it.
It's
Not
Denny's.
that Denny's my first choice.
Right, but it's just you brought up Denny's. Let's go to breakfast. It's not like if I ruined it, I really ruined much. It was just Denny's.
Okay.
But
I just wanted somebody to serve me as the queen.
do they have Queen service at Denny's?
How do you know? They might.
It was a question.
I should have just wore my crown
And see what happens.
and see what happens.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she did want to go to breakfast. We got in the truck and took off, and I said, hey, how about instead of breakfast, we drive up to the poppy fields that are in bloom? And she said yes. But That's the opposite way of Denny's. We actually drove up to in the neighborhood of where Mary Mathis lives, up in her neck of the woods.
Yes, in the high desert.
High desert. She was at work though, but we went by Gorman and then drove out towards the 14. See the poppies, all different colors out there. Not as many as we thought.
No, but pretty colors. There's purple and yellow and orange. We saw little splashes here
and then when it was time to turn around, I didn't want to turn around. I didn't want to go back the same way. So I said I wanted to show you something. How many of you out there know about Willow Springs Raceway? My wife has never heard of Willow.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, never heard of Willow Springs Raceway. So of course she's never been there, and I'm like, you've never even heard of it?
I don't even recall ever hearing about it.
It's been in a ton of movies. Most recently, Ford versus Ferrari. They had a lot of scenes there.
You know, we watched that movie and you never said anything about it. I don't think you did. Said anything to me.
I might not have.
And I always, when I saw it today, it reminded me of the movie Cars, the animated one, kind of like that raceway.
Right.
It kind of looked like it was alive, like in person, but it was pretty cool to see it.
It was. And so I took her by, we even got in a little bit. We got past the guard post and poked around up there. Then there's
Wait. You were acting like you were in trouble or something. I said, just go up to the guard shack and ask him if we could go see it. You didn't even want to. You like stopped 10 feet before the guard shack like, yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm a terrible man.
Look, this isn't going to work if we can't keep up our personas. Now, I have the persona of being forward and deviant and confident.
Yeah.
You can't come along and say, you know, getting into the racetrack was my idea. You were just going to turn around.
Yes. All you have to do, all they have to say, I've lived with this motto. What's the worst that can happen? They say no.
Right.
So try it.
Well, yeah, I know.
Wish I knew that in high school. But I didn't. Took me a long time to learn that.
I don't want our listeners to know that it was your idea.
Oh, it was totally my idea.
Okay, you're not paying attention.
Oh, I know. I'm not paying attention. I'm letting them know it was my idea.
So we got in.
Completely.
We got some stuff. They were filming Tesla commercials on the track. So the track was closed today, but we got to see a bunch of stuff, and I pointed out some things. And then I know a secret agent route home.
Yes, that was very cool.
I said, I want to take you on this road that goes from Willow Springs to Tehachapi.
The back way.
The back way. So we went through the mountains, really cool road, and you're up really close to those big, huge
turbine
windmills.
Yeah, those things freak me out.
They were huge, and they're right on the side of the road.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't know what it is, but they just like freak me out. I don't know if it's just their size.
No, I'll tell you why.
Ginormous.
What if they come alive?
Oh, stop.
It's true.
They're just, I don't know. I kept telling you, what if they fall? Like, remember I kept saying, what if they fall?
Then you asked me, I wonder how loud they are. Like, could you live near one?
Could it go, whoa, whoa,
yeah.
whoa? That's what I thought. And all of a sudden you went ding, like,
So we pulled off the road, drove down.
pulled a Home Improvement.
Yeah. So we pulled, we went down to where there was like 6 big ones, the biggest ones ever.
Yeah.
Shut off the engine, rolled down the windows, and you couldn't hear anything.
It was silent.
And I went, okay, we're in the middle of 6 of these things.
Not a sound.
Not a sound. I got to go listen to one. So there was a gate.
There was a gate.
That had a little sign on it.
I said, it says private, no trespassing. What'd you say?
I didn't see it.
I don't see it. I don't see nothing. It was really tiny.
Yeah, and I said, you expect me to really pay attention to a tiny sign that's like 4 inches by 4 inches? I didn't see it. And you're like, then how did you know how small the sign was?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I didn't see it.
And now we're really close to one, and I'm freaking out. I don't know.
We parked next to one.
Yeah.
And because the gate was a do not enter private property gate, then there was a no trespassing sign. So I wasn't in there a long time.
So you just decided to trespass.
Yeah. And so, well, unlike you, I wasn't going to ask and get told no.
It was a guideline.
It was, a
suggestion.
If you go in there, it's better to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. So, but I went up to one and I put my ear right on it.
Yes.
Hardly heard a damn thing. That big monstrosity of a windmill, the biggest one, spinning fast. I put my ear on it. It was just this low hum. That's it.
You know what else I didn't ask you is, did you feel any air movement?
Nope. Nothing.
Even with that thing spinning?
Nope. That thing spinning didn't create any air, and the wind blowing it, I didn't feel that wind either. Nothing. Not a thing.
Don't you think you should feel like it should be moving air
You think
around?
there'd be if you're going to move one of those big things is that the blades are 150 feet across, you think you'd feel something. That's not a thing.
I wonder if they're just bullshit.
You think they just fired them up and they actually use electricity to run just to fuck with everybody?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You are the worst conspiracy theorist ever.
But because it's not blowing like a fan with those things, that's like when a helicopter's blades are moving, you can feel it.
Well, because you're under it. It's blowing straight down. A helicopter's blowing
Okay, when a fan is blowing on you,
Yeah.
you're feeling it.
Yeah, now that's a better example.
Okay, well, if a fan is blowing on you, you're feeling it. Is
Yeah.
it not going fast enough? No, it has to go.
I'm just telling you, I didn't feel any air movement at all.
Okay, I'm
and I
totally
couldn't
confused.
hear. If I pulled my ear off of the side of it, I heard nothing. I only heard it when my ear was touching the metal. That's the only time I heard it. It's weird.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't get your slop burger, whatever the hell that thing
Well,
was.
that's when you missed your breakfast, and I was going to take you to a quick story. She knows what this means, slop burger. We were driving from Oregon down here back in, this is like 2000.
I wasn't with you.
No.
You were with the kids.
You had the boys with me. We were, it was 10 and 11 and, teaching them how to get gas station food.
Oh, God.
Because why? Because you go to a gas station, you fill up your vehicle with gas, you go to the bathroom at the gas station, you get your food at the gas station. You don't go to the gas station, then a public restroom, then a McDonald's. No, you're on the road. You fuel up, you take your piss, and you
Makes
grab
me
your food.
nauseated just
And
thinking about it.
we went to, I think it was
Wasn't it in Klamath?
it was in Klamath Falls, yeah.
Or right outside Klamath
And
Falls?
I think it was a Chevron gas station on the north side of town. They kind of had like a built-in food mart. And so you're getting these nuked burritos and
God,
hot
a
dogs that
burger.
have been there for 5 days and donuts that are like hard as a rock. And I got a hamburger and I nuked it and I left it in the wrapper. And as we were I put it on the dashboard and we're driving, getting back on the road.
Oh, God.
And the hamburger slid down the dash. It slid away from me towards the corner of the window. It went towards
the kids, yeah.
No, it went towards my side. I'm
okay.
driving. Went towards my corner of the glass all the way down.
Okay.
Now it's by the front windshield. It's wedged in between the dash and the front windshield and the corner. And I was getting through town. As soon as I got out of town, I reached over and grabbed it. And when I grabbed the bag, the only way I can describe this, which is why we gave it the nickname Slop Burger, I grabbed the bag that it was still in after I nuked it, and I held it up, and the burger was kind of liquefied in the corner of the bag.
Oh,
It
it's
still,
making me
it
nauseous.
still had bread and meat, but it took the shape of the corner of the bag.
God,
Because
that's
the whole,
disgusting.
it's almost like it almost turned to a paste. I could have eaten it like hamburger paste.
Is this the same trip that you let one of them have a
Red
a
Bull.
Monster or Red
Red
Bull for
Bull.
the very first time and you regretted it?
Different trip, but
Oh.
yeah, same run. And she wouldn't shut the fuck up. She was like 11 and she had a small Red Bull. And my son was like, "Dad, if you ever give her one of those again, I'm not going anywhere with you ever." He goes, "She will not shut up." She wouldn't shut up.
She just kept talking.
She just-
Did you learn your lesson?
Yep, never gave her another one. She-
Remember when we used to take the kids out on long trips and everything? I told you water. Remember I would
Yeah.
say water only, no
right,
soda?
water only, no soda.
If they had, when we drove from our place to their grandparents' house, it was like a 12-hour drive
Right.
with 8 kids in the car. So I'd pack snacks and I told him we're only giving them water because when they had sodas, they got amped up. And when you have 8 kids in a car,
Oh, they'd all
my
fuck with
gosh.
each other too. You couldn't control them.
So usually if you gave them water, they'd crash out. They would crash. But that's you.
And this was back in the
gave
day.
a
I think
Red
when
Bull.
Red Bull first came out, I didn't really know how
Oh
strong
my
they were.
God,
But
she
my
was dying
God.
to have one.
Yep, and she got one, and that was one of the worst decisions ever as a parent. I fucked that up completely.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it
Ugh.
was bad. So yeah. Anyway, speaking of truck and driving and stuff, I want to tell you something that happened the other day, and this is in our truck.
Our new truck?
Yeah, my new truck.
My new truck.
It's mine. It's
No,
not
it's
yours.
mine because my name's on the
It's
registration.
my truck.
You're welcome to borrow it anytime you want
My
to.
God, you got to knock this shit off.
You show me. Prove to me it's your truck.
Just because I put something in your name doesn't mean it's not mine.
It's mine.
All right. So I get that vehicles today are smart. I got it. I was a mechanic for a lot of years. I saw this. But so when you go to get out of your vehicle after you drive it, it says, "Hey," it'll even put a message on you're leaving your keys in here. Oh, okay, got my key. And because there's built-in phone chargers, it'll say you left your phone in the charger.
Right.
And I got that. You left your headlights on. You left your window. It'll tell you if your window's down. Do you want to leave your window down? It'll remind you. Mm-hmm. I got all that. Pretty self-explanatory. Kind of cool. I get it. Now, you sent me on an errand to drop off a package at UPS.
Right.
I get in the truck, I sit down, I start the engine, I throw the package over my shoulder because it's small,
Oh, yes.
into the back seat.
Uh-huh.
No big deal.
Right.
I actually had to drive the kid to his thing for Camp Keep. So I was 6:30 in the morning. I ran 2 other quick errands. I forgot to go to UPS. I came back home. I go to get out, and there's a message, and it says, the message on the screen said, "Don't forget to check the back seat."
It does say that.
How the fuck would it know that I put something in the back seat? It didn't even weigh as much as a baseball. It was light. Does it have sensors connected to satellites? It literally told me as I'm getting out, hey, don't forget to check the back seat. I was like, why am I checking the back seat?
It's a good reminder.
I didn't open the back.
It's like your wife.
I didn't open the back door. I didn't do anything back there
matter.
other than throw that thing back there, and it knew. It knew I fucking threw something in the back seat. Okay.
Taking over for me.
If that, yeah, great. If that isn't Skynet tapping you on the shoulder and going, just letting you know I'm watching everything you're doing, it should have had a message right there. Are you sure you want to go in the house? You didn't go where your wife told you to go. You didn't go to UPS like she
That's
told
right.
you.
You want to change that tune?
You want to go?
get back in the
You
truck
want to get back in the
go?
truck and finish what you're
Yeah.
supposed to? You didn't
That's
go.
like when a woman answers you, what? That is your clue to, should I answer?
It's giving me time to rethink my what did I just say? That's your universal.
Exactly.
When you say what, that's my clue. Do you want to change your bullshit
Exactly.
statement? Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was, I don't know why it did it. I have no idea why it said to check the back seat, but it
I don't
did.
know.
That fucking truck is weird. I mean, it's beyond weird with some shit. I don't want to go to the dealership and have it deprogrammed. I think I need to go to a Catholic church and have an exorcism done. Then get rid of whatever demons are lurking in it.
They're
'cause
probably
it's bad.
going, nope, we're not doing that anymore.
All right, so let's real quick. The kid is at Camp Keep.
That is
He's
correct.
a counselor for a week.
God love him. I would. I was a camp counselor at Camp Keep many moons ago with our daughter. Same place that he's at right now, and I would never ever go back. Love the camp. I just don't. I couldn't do it. It was one of the
Well,
coldest.
it's over on the coast. Let's start
It
with
is.
where
It's on
at.
the coast, central coast of California.
Yeah.
You live in trailers. As a counselor, you live in trailers with about 8 to 10
Kids.
5th or 6th graders. I can't remember which. You're in charge of them. There's no heating, no electricity. The showers are cold water, unless that's changed recently, but
How
they
could
were
they
cold.
have no, what? It could not
I don't know.
possibly be expensive to have electricity to those trailers. How much lights could they use?
I don't know. I don't know why they don't have them. I have no idea. But there's no electricity. So as a counselor, you can't charge your phone. You have to take it to the main cabin. When you shower, it's a cold shower. So you're already cold. So why don't we pour on more cold?
Wow.
Also, when I was there, it rained one day. And you're not there for you as an adult. You're there
No.
for a 5th or 6th grader. So they always ask them, hey, do you want to hike in the rain? What 5th or 6th grader is going to say no?
Yeah, it's not like they asked you. It's like, do you want to go? Do you want to lead a hike? And you, as the adult, go, no, I'm not hiking in the rain. So they asked the kids. Now you have to go.
Oh, I have to go. I have to go with them. So I'm hiking in the rain, and then you're just so dead. They have a conch shell
yeah.
that they wake you up with in the morning. They announce lunch with it, and dinner and bedtime, or go to your trailers or whatever. So you wake up to that, and it's early. It's like it's 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You go have breakfast, and then it's a hike.
You said it was really good food, though.
Oh, it's really great food. And you also have, your trailer has KP duty too. So, so not only does he have to, rally his cats, it's like rounding cats
Yeah.
up. He has to make sure that they do their KP duty. It's a big adult counselor thing for him.
I really think he will do a good job. I really do. He likes that kind of stuff.
I do too. I think he's going to come back. I'm hoping that he comes back with a different perspective as a parent, as an adult, as a counselor.
Well, I think also because he's had a couple emotional meltdowns the past couple months because he's promised everybody he'd do everything and he can't. He's failing everybody.
Yeah.
He's not
way
getting
too much on
anything
his
done. I
plate.
think this week off of everything is going to do him good. The only thing he got in trouble on this week, I don't know if you know or not,
Yeah, you told me.
was he does the engineering, he does the producing for the 21 Gun podcast, and they do it religiously. They don't miss a date, they don't miss time.
Right.
And they're very strict about doing it. He never even told him he wasn't going to be here.
I know.
All of
Hope
a
he
sudden,
informed school too. I don't even know if
I don't know, but the owner of 21 Gun called me and said, "Hey man, where's the kid?" I'm like, he's gone for a week. He doesn't even have cell service.
Right.
And he about lost his mind. He goes, "That fucking kid never told me." He didn't say a thing. So I texted him and said, "If by chance your phone gets cell service, you better tell Mr. Sullivan something."
Well, tell him how he packed, because on Sunday before he left, I texted him and said, "You need to make sure you go grab a duffel bag." Because they were going to Walmart, him and his girlfriend. And I said, "Pick up a duffel bag," because I couldn't find one. It's always good to have.
Right.
I said, "Pick up a duffel bag, some stuff for the bathroom if you need it or whatever, and get it." He goes all the way to Walmart, comes back and has nothing.
And remember, we are trying to not wipe his ass anymore.
Right.
We're letting him go. It's like, hey, 3 years ago, my wife would have said, "Did you get a toothbrush? Do you have 5 pairs of socks? Do you have 5 pairs of underwear? Did you bring your soap? Did you bring a washcloth? Do you have an extra towel?" She'd have gone through the whole thing.
I didn't this time.
And this time she's like, "Make sure you got all your shit. Mm-hmm. Get a duffel bag. Get a small bag for your bathroom gear. Don't forget anything."
Right.
So he doesn't.
So I didn't take him to
I took
the
him. I was up
point.
at 6 a.m, ready to go. And he comes downstairs with a backpack. And I go, "That's all you need?" He goes,
For
"All I
5
need."
days.
Yeah, for 5 days. Just a backpack. I said, "Okay." He goes, wait. No, I need something else. Comes back downstairs with a backpack and some stupid red.
Carry-on little thing, like grocery bag or whatever.
It looked like a little,
Yeah.
like a plastic grocery bag with a zip tie at the top, like you'd get it at free stuff at a car show.
Okay.
I go, "What are you doing there?" He goes, I got all my stuff now." Okay. So we go out, the truck's warming up, and you told me
Yeah.
you fell through on your parenting. You said, "Okay, I know we're not supposed to wipe his ass, but please make sure he takes a sleeping bag." They don't have any linens out there.
No, they're
just
a cot.
Just a cot, maybe a sheet. He'll freeze. I said, "Fuck it. I'm not telling him shit if he forgets." And then I had to make sure you didn't secretly text him, because you go behind my back with that shit.
I didn't.
No. So we get in the truck. It's warming up. I said, "Do you got everything you need?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Are you good to go?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And I'm sitting there letting the truck warm up, and I'm fighting with my conscience. I'm like, God, I don't want him to be miserable. If he's miserable and cold for 5 days because he's not smart enough to bring sleeping bag, then the kids are going to be miserable.
Hold on. What tops the whole thing is that they gave him a checklist of all the stuff that he was supposed to bring.
Which he lost. He didn't have it.
Is that what he told you?
Yeah, because I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is, but
Yeah.
he did have it because I saw it.
Right.
Because I looked at it.
He's not good with lists. He just tries. He always goes, "I'll remember."
Okay, well.
So we're in the truck, and I'm trying to think, I should just let him suffer. But I knew if I let him suffer, the kids might suffer because he'll be an asshole all week.
Right.
Wouldn't you be? If you froze to death every night, wouldn't you be an asshole? So I'm just making conversation. And I go, what are the sleeping arrangements out there? He goes, "Oh, they got beds out there, and they're in trailers." I said, "Oh, okay. So the beds are nice and warm." He goes, "Well, the trailers don't have any electricity, so they're really not warm." And I sat there and waiting for the fucking light bulb to click on in his head. And he's just looking out the window. And I said, "Well, but at least the beds are warm." He goes, "Oh, no, the beds, they don't. No, they just got a little thin sheet, no pillow, no nothing." And I went, "Huh, well, that doesn't sound comfortable." He goes, "Oh, it's terrible."
It's still not clicking.
No, I'm still sitting there like, holy shit, is he really that dumb? And so finally he goes, "Are we leaving?" I go, "Look, dude, I'm trying to be a dick. I'm trying to be an asshole, but I just can't do it." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Do you think you might need a sleeping bag?" He goes, "I'll be fine. I'll tough it out."
Oh my God.
I said, "You will." He goes, "Yep." I said, "Okay." I put it in reverse. He goes, "Hold on." He jumps out. He runs in the house and grabs a sleeping bag. Now, because he didn't get your big duffel bag, he's carrying a backpack with shit hanging out of it. He's got his pinky holding up some red plastic bag with a zip tie on the top of it. And now he's got a sleeping bag that is unfolded.
I know.
And
it's
he's
a
rolled it
mess.
up under his arm. And I let him out to walk into like 300 kids, and he's walking in going, all right, I'm in charge around here. I was like, oh, God help us. I wonder how many parents took their kids and went, nope.
Yeah, exactly.
Not if this dude's one of the people in charge. He just didn't get it. He still did. But this happens all the time.
Remember the day before where I had that mom feeling where I came out to him and gave him that little speech going, listen, you're an 18-year-old counselor. I said, as a parent, I'm sending my child for the very, very first time probably away from the home, away from the house, and putting my child in the care of some 18-year-old I've never met in my life.
I gave him I've been a camp counselor many times when I was his age. I did stuff up at Indian Village and Forest Home up in the San Bernardino Hills 2 summers growing up, and I did it a lot, and with 5th and 6th graders. So I told him 2 things. And one, I told him in person where we're driving. I said, listen, do yourself a favor. The moment you get your kids alone, you need to come across a little stern and a little in charge. And he goes, why? I said, because if you act like you're all buddy-buddy, then they start dicking around. You're never going to get them back under control. You can't start off easy and laughing and being their friend and then try to get strong with them. They won't listen. It's not how it works.
Right.
I said, so, you started off and go, hey, my name's Briggs. I'm your camp counselor. I want you guys to pay attention to a couple rules. Don't touch each other's stuff. You got a problem, you come to me. That's what I'm here for. Whatever you need, you come ask me. I'll take care of it. And you do exactly what I say. If I say stand in line, you stand in line. If I say, go to sleep, you go to sleep. If I say it's chow time, you just do what I tell you. I said, add this at the end. Say, don't make me call your parents and have them drive all the way out here and pick you up because you can't follow directions.
True.
So just do what I say and we'll get along fine. I go, just do that for the first night. You're going to get out there late afternoon. So you go on one hike and have dinner, go to bed, but have your story right when you get there, and then things will then be easy, be all you want. So that's what I told him on the way out there. And then when he was getting close to running out of cell service. But while he was still on the highway, I just texted him and I said, you're going to do good. Be a leader.
That's right.
Just be a leader. Because those kids count on you to have a great time.
they're looking up to him. It's something
that's the only contact I've had with him since he's been gone.
We haven't had much, so
I don't know how that's going to go.
We will see.
No, he got a blip of cell service for like an instant. He called you.
He did. No, he texted me. He didn't call me.
Or texted you, right.
So do you have any daughter updates this week? Do we need to catch up a little bit?
Oh, this is our little basic question run thing through here.
Yeah, let's just basic questions, just really quick.
All right. Daughter update. She is taking the kids' place, obviously. With the,
I
you
saw
ever wonder
that.
what a Gen X thinks? Welcome, Gen X Talks. Well, yeah, you saw too.
She bombarded us.
And then she got us in the end. You know that video is like the highest viewed videos for how long it's been on.
I knew as soon as she started, I was like, I thought we were free this week.
No. But I told you guys last week, and I'll re-clarify, because she ran around telling everybody when all of her brothers and sisters were over this last weekend.
Yeah.
She ran on to, Dad gave me an ultimatum. Dad gave me an ultimatum. So I pulled her aside because, of course, her sisters run to her defense and go, Dad, why did you give her an ultimatum? Why are you? I said, I didn't. I didn't tell her to move out.
About.
So I grabbed her. I said, what the fuck are you telling everybody in the family? She goes, well, you kind of did give me an ultimatum. I said, no, I did not.
Touchy-feely.
I said, I didn't say you have until, May 5th to move out. I didn't say that. All I said was, when you make a decision about this guy, I'm making you stick with it.
Right.
I'm, not going to force the issue forever, but I'm not going to.
She's not 18 anymore.
No, she's
turning 25.
Turning 25. Okay. Mm-hmm. I said, you live with him, but then you move out when you're in a fight. Then you move back with him. Then you move out. I said.
Then she's living here for a couple days and a couple days there. She's like rotating.
And I said, you got to stop. I said, if this is not the right guy, then stay home and let's get back on with life.
Right.
If he's like your best friend and you guys like going to the movies, going on motorcycle rides, fine. Then be that guy. I don't care. Mm-hmm. But if he is the right guy, then when you move out, when you say, Dad, he's the right guy, we're going to get married, we're going to have kids, and then I'm going to say, then don't come back.
Right.
I'm telling you, get all your shit out of my house, and I'm going to rent your room to someone else.
You sound like another dad I know.
Yeah, yours. But the point is that, obviously if he ever got to the point where he was beating her or hurting her,
Right.
then of course she could come home. But he's not, I don't think he's that guy at all. But it's like, you can't ever move forward if every time you guys get in a fight, you're going to just run home and live here for a month or two and then go back. It's like, pick one.
Yeah.
If he's the guy, then when you move out and you choose that, stay there.
Exactly.
Don't come home. Now, if he's not the guy, if you're just going to keep bouncing around, then stop this nonsense and stay home. Pick one, and whichever way you pick, I want to hold you to
Cut
it.
bait.
Cut bait. Do something. So she ran around telling everybody so they'd come barge with me. Guess what? Every brother and sister that came to me in her defense goes, Dad, what have you done? What's this ultimatum shit? Once I explained it, every one of them went back to her and said, yeah, Dad's right. You got to knock this shit off.
Yep.
Figure out what you're doing and do it. 3
gotta make a
years
decision.
3 years is long enough. I got to wait no more. So that's the update on her. I don't know where things are going.
All right. So are we still moving?
Are we still moving? Yeah. I'm really leaning more towards south of Reno.
Okay.
It's close to. It's about a 6-hour drive from one son. It's about a 6 or 7 hour drive from another son, and it's about 8 hours from my parents. It's kind of in a good spot.
It is.
Plus, it's right near Dr. McDreamy. You're only an hour away from Dr. McDreamy.
But Marcy, my new BFF.
You know what? You and Dr. McDreamy, we're all in this group chat. You left us out of it. You and him had this long conversation for like an hour.
That happens.
I finally chimed in and I go, "Are you two done?" Because
No, we're not. We're going to continue it
you
this
left
weekend.
Marcy and I out of it completely. I'm like, I don't
You
know
guys were part of it. You could read. We were just having a chat.
It clearly was between the two of you. It had nothing to do with
the
us.
The problem is
that I was feeling pretty neglected.
Oh, please. Pull up your pantyhose. Jeez. So
we are moving, but I'm going to start I am going to look in Vegas this weekend. We have some business stuff to attend to, and I am going to take some time and go look. I think my two landing spots are somewhere outside of Las Vegas where we can drive into town, or outside of Reno where we can drive into town. Got to have a big airport where you can go see the babies and grandbabies.
Yes.
Got to be near a place like Vegas at Reno. If we want to have a big group meeting, we can just all go there. Something simple. And I don't mind outlying areas of Nevada. I'm a desert guy, so I'm okay with that.
Okay. You still watching Gorillas? Remember we talked about gorillas last week?
Oh, because I went from
alligators to gorillas.
Yeah.
Are we on a new animal this
No,
week, or are we still on gorillas?
Still on gorillas. I find them fascinating. However, there was another animal that piqued my interest.
Oh, here we go.
A hippo.
Oh my
That looks like the dumbest animal God ever invented. It sits in the water with its ears wiggling out
Do
of
you
the water.
have way too much time on your hands? Do you need something to do in your free time?
You know what? I don't like you mocking me for being me. Is there,
I just want to know, because if you're bored and you just want to watch animals, I have
'cause
a lot of stuff for you to do.
Your honey-do list is long enough.
Oh, it's
So I've
pretty
been
big.
watching hippos.
That's why we went on the road trip today. You didn't want to do your honey-do list this morning. Because yesterday you were like, honey, I'm going to get all my stuff done and we're going to wake up the
But
next
then I got
morning.
sick, remember?
And then we're
No.
going to do all the house, these house honey-do lists. But you changed your mind and went on a road trip.
I got sick yesterday, and you know it. That's
What
not
does
fair.
yesterday have to do with today?
Okay, do the math. Now, this is where
No.
This is where women fall short. You just put all the pieces to the puzzle out on the table, and then you act like, well, how could these pieces possibly fit together?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I said I'm going to get all my shit done on Wednesday so we can do honey-do list stuff on Thursday.
Right.
I got sick on Wednesday.
Right.
Did all my shit get done? No. Now, do we have the available time to go out and do the honey-do list? We don't, because all my shit didn't get done.
But it got done this afternoon.
And I took you on an amazing little adventure.
You did. But
Okay.
you're not doing the honey-do list.
No, I'm not.
So...
Hippos, they're badass. They're tough.
Okay, I don't even want to
I'm
discuss
just saying.
it.
Well,
I don't want to
Okay,
even
go
discuss
hippos. Yeah.
It. Yeah, hippos. We'll talk about it next
All
week.
right, go. What else?
So what's your week been like without Briggs around?
It's okay. I don't want to say, oh, it's heaven. It's absolutely just great. I miss him being around.
I do too.
We have been getting along better, but I'm still struggling with him because I had a long talk with my mom actually because I don't understand what's going on. And her basic thing, I talked to our oldest son when he was here about him too. He goes, I got you. But both, it's kind of funny. Our oldest son and my mom both had the same advice, which is obvious. Boys mature at different paces. Mm-hmm. Both, which I already knew, obviously, but both my older son and my mother said he's just the type of kid. He's going to be lazy. He's not going to be very observant until he hits about 25. That was their guess. And they might be right, because some stuff I just shake my head and I don't get it at all. And I'll give, like we told everybody a couple weeks ago, I said, I gave him one job. I said, if you don't take the trash can out to the street every Thursday night, you can't live here. I will kick you out of the house. And he said, you imagine if I tell everybody that you kicked me out because of a trash can? I go, can you imagine how stupid you're going to look to everybody if you lost a place to live because you wouldn't take a trash can to the street on time?
Exactly.
Well, even with that, he still missed it the next 3 weeks in a row. He didn't do it. And then, he had terrible consequences. You wouldn't let me kick him out. But now he's got back into doing it. But that's just one thing. He's 18. That's one thing I've gotten him to do religiously is trash can to the street because he wants to live here. But by this time, by 18 and a half, almost 19, he should have 35 things down. He should see you picking up something heavy and jump up. Mom, don't grab that. Let me get that for you.
I know.
He doesn't.
I miss him for that this week.
For
I had
carrying
a
the
whole
laundry basket upstairs.
Yeah. He usually does it for me.
So I do miss him, but I'm glad that I'm not fighting with him and arguing over stupid shit is where I'm going with that. I don't miss that part. This has kind of been a break for me too.
Right.
Come on, what's your next question? What's your lightning round? Let's go.
Are you ever going to turn down the AC in the studio?
No.
It's freezing in here.
Then it's down. What are you complaining about?
I mean, sorry.
It's freezing in here now. You've turned.
Yes.
I'm never turning it down unless you're in here. I'm not doing it.
Why?
Because I was very liberal with the AC in the house.
Oh, yes, you were.
Last year, and the AC in the studio, I was very liberal.
We live in California.
And it was hot, and I ran it, and I wanted to be comfortable at night, and I wanted to be comfortable during the day, and I just kind of turned it on when I wanted. Our bill this year, because it divides it up, it divides up your whole bill by 12 months. You pay every month.
Right.
Then it accumulates because we have solar panels. That's the way that works.
Right.
And the bill was over $3,000 higher for the entire year because of what I did.
And we added a studio.
Well, that was what I mean. We added the air conditioning for that, and I just kept running it. So this year, I'm going to suffer making that payment every month. But next year, no. I'm not going to have that big bill next year. Next year, you're going to come to me and go, well, the AC, the power bill dropped $300 this for every month. Yeah, it will, because I will sit out here and my fat ass will sweat. My fat ass will sit in front of a fan. I am not turning that AC back on unless you're in here for a podcast like now or a show. When you come in, you can turn it on, but I'm not doing it.
All right.
It just makes me sick to my stomach every time I look at the AC controller. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, that's fine. That's
Camp
fine.
Keep. We talked about Camp Keep.
So I was wondering, this week you have, I noticed our daughter doing the videos. How's she doing with them? Is she...
Well, yeah.
She's surprising you? Like, you kind of gave her a little assignment.
Well,
like she
I told her, I said, hey, if you want to do this stuff and take it, because on social media channels, it's content. The way everyone will tell you, you want to lose your channel, quit putting out content. You can't put out content once in a while.
Uh-huh.
And so the kid's been pretty religious. The son's been very good about it. But he's gone for a week. So I said, well, I told her, I said, you want to take over? Go ahead. I won't beat you up too bad about it. She's put out 3 videos. And all 3 of them have done extremely well. We get a couple comments. I got a couple people saying, oh, you're not using the sun anymore? I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
Wow.
They're going to quit. And I wrote on there, I go, well, don't let the door hit you in the ass. And then I wrote, this isn't an airport. You don't got to announce your departure. Just leave. And, of course, the kid's going to read that. Go, Dad, don't chase away the fans.
But I also noticed people were loving it. Like, oh, my God, I love your family. And it's so neat.
Tons of it. A couple were bad. But majority, they loved her.
It
was great. Their numbers were
It's a nice change.
Yeah, and it's not forever. He'll come back.
Except that she's catching you just like the kid does, like
Well,
doing ambushing on you.
I found out from her today that they talked before he left.
Oh, really?
And he wrote down some things. He goes, hey, do this, this, and this because it has to do with you. And I went, oh, I see what you did there. So they did a little pop homework on it. I get it. And then, of course, the one with the question, she just knew she was going to ask us. She had it written down. She knew.
Oh, that's cool.
But that came out really good. So
That's cool.
I like that she's doing it. She really feels part of things now. And the numbers are up. Her numbers are way up. So that's good.
That's cool. Okay.
Anything else you want to bitch at me about? You've been riding my fucking
contract
ass.
negotiations are in 2 weeks. Are you ready?
What? Wait.
Contract negotiation is in a couple weeks.
Oh, shit. It's April.
Remember? Are you lawyering you up?
Our
this year?
anniversary. For those of you who don't know, we don't celebrate our anniversary once a year. We call it contract renewal.
Day.
We have to renegotiate. Oh, okay. And really what happens is I give my wife a review. How did she do this last year? What can we improve on next year, honey? Yeah.
Oh, I have a report card for you.
It's just glowing with gold stars. I'm wonderful.
You hope it was.
I'm wonderful. Just ask
You might
me.
have to repeat this grade. You might have to repeat.
Well, yeah, but all right. I'll start a list. There's probably some things that you need to improve on.
Oh, I have a list. I've already started.
Name one thing on your list.
No more watching Midway on the television because it ends the same way every single time.
Okay. When you watch a movie, you have to watch a movie with an open heart, okay? Yes, I hope the Americans win the Battle of Midway. I hope the Yorktown doesn't sink.
We already did.
But it sinks every time. I hope, there's a chance, there's a moment in that movie where Admiral Nagumo, for the Japanese, he makes one critical decision that changes his fortune.
And it's the same decision every
time. He
you
never
watch
learns.
Midway.
He never learns.
No more watching it.
But but there's two different versions of Midway.
No Midway.
You don't like either one?
I don't even want the word Midway spoken.
Wow.
You're done.
Wow.
That's it.
You're just ripping my heart out there.
Oh, yeah. Crumbling it up into a ball and
that is
throwing
bullshit.
it
I don't ever do that to you. Do I ever tell you there's a show you can't watch?
all the time.
No.
All the time. No white box movies.
Well, you can watch them downstairs.
Yeah. See? There it is.
All right. I will cut back on my watching of Midway, which is
Cutting back. I said no more. Not cutting back. No more.
okay. Well, you don't run my life. You're not a warden.
Then you go downstairs
This
and watch
isn't a
it.
prison.
Then you go downstairs and watch it. If I have to watch white box downstairs, you gotta do that.
You know, I don't like you anymore.
I know.
I don't like.
That's what happens.
I don't like these negotiations anymore.
Lawyer up, babe.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to find representation to go through here.
So have you explained to people who our friend Jacob is to Gen X Talks?
I think I did a couple times during live streams at night, but I think everybody was drunk. Everybody knows that Daniel Edwards has come along, and Daniel Edwards does some brand management with us with big things. Like he does big events that are $100,000 events. What Jacob does, he tracked us down because he's been in social media for 15 years on the advertising sponsorship side. And he's like, look, man, there are brands of people and things that might want you to put a candy bar in here for a couple bucks if you do some product placement or if you use some of their gear. And I'm like, well, show me what it is. And if it's okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't ever want to try to promote something that I don't like.
Absolutely.
But, if there's people that are willing to do some stuff, we could use the money. We got the radio station. We're still paying off some stuff from before. So that might not
And
be
we have a barbecue coming up.
yeah, I don't mind because we're going to put the money right back into Gen X Talks. I don't care. It just has to fit. It can't be
Can
something.
pay for the electric bill of the studio.
You just had to rub that salt in the open wound. You couldn't let it go. It hadn't been 5 minutes. And here she comes.
I know,
So
but
what-
you keep saying yes to interviews and appearances.
Well,
and
okay,
it's
because here's what I thought. So Jacob, he's got an idea. He's got like 35 companies interested in doing stuff with
oh,
this.
that's cool.
But they don't. They're like, well, but what if we give you money and it doesn't work out? And I'm like, well, then here, let me do some shit for free. Just try us out. I don't mind. You want to do an interview? Good. We need interviews on our side. We need our interview library to grow.
Okay.
So bring some people in, business owners, politicians. I don't care. Bring them in. I want to do an interview anyway. So I'm loading him up. And he's like, well, would you go to this car show? Yes. Well, would you go to this event in Arvin? Yes. Would you go to a grocery store opening? Yes. I don't care. I'll just go do it. Don't shake your head. It doesn't matter. It's like this next year before we move. Yeah, I'll try whatever. I'll show up and be happy and shake hands. And if some of them work out where people go, hey, you did a really good job. Let's do something for a couple bucks now.
Well,
I don't mind trying to earn a spot on the roster. I don't mind. So I've told him yes to pretty much everything. I'll do the interviews. They can be on our interviews. I will go be on their interviews if they're podcasts. Cool. I'm just saying yes. And I know it's a lot of work because you're actually doing the scheduling for that.
I am.
And it's a lot.
It is.
But the kid would want me to. If the kid says, Dad, could you do this?
Yeah, our schedule is filling up because our daughter called. Our second oldest daughter is pregnant with her second child.
Yeah.
And she just, they did an ultrasound and they're going to put in an envelope the gender of their baby. So she's not going to know. So she calls me yesterday and goes, I'd like to do a gender reveal party, which is like a baby shower, at your house because they're getting ready to move to Nebraska too. And I'm like, well, our weekends are really filled
fit
up.
That in, we got a lot going on.
Well, I told her, I go, the only weekend I have clear is like Mother's Day weekend.
Right.
I mean, I guess I said I got to talk to your dad about it and see, but she was all excited because they're moving and they don't really have anywhere to do this.
That's why you had everybody out this last weekend.
If I would have known better, I would have pushed it out to May.
Or you would have done the gender reveal that was like push and find out. Yeah, they could have known.
No.
She's further along than they thought.
Well, yeah, they were off a whole month.
So we are busy, but you're asking me about Jacob. I'm trying to say yes to everything because if I can lay the foundation for some good stuff, then when things slow down and we kind of back off or we move next year, then maybe we have some of these things in place and we have some good relationships with some sponsors and we can just keep going. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, before we do your car story, I have a question. If we're moving next year, what are you going to do with my BMW and that ugly thing of a forklift?
Beautiful forklift on the side of the house?
It's just sitting there.
You know your BMW? You know it runs, right?
Well, yeah,
but
did.
It's not. It does. No, I can start it up right now. It's start and drive. I just got to charge the battery. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to take one of my small block Chevy engines and build it.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and put it in. She has a little 3 Series convertible BMW, like a 2002.
It's a stick.
It's a stick.
I love it.
And I wanted to see if I could put an injected 350 small block in there. That was my thing. But now that we're moving, I don't know that I want to do that. I may just get it running and sell it.
Okay.
The way it is. And the forklift.
I will miss that car.
I know you will. The forklift, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to get it running. I got to put the radiator in it. I'm just going to see. I'm going to give these things away pretty cheap. If somebody wants them, once I get it run, I got the paperwork on them. I got title. And just go, here you go, you can have it. And then they can just come tow it out or put it on their trailer. But I'll get them. You know, the forklift is about 3 hours away from running and driving. The BMW is about an hour away.
Well, let's get on it. Let's start getting everything out of here.
Don't push me. You stay in your lane. This is guy stuff, okay?
Hey, time's going by fast.
I know it is. I know.
Got to get busy. It's
going to be winter, and we're going to be sitting here on a podcast going,
we didn't do what we said we were going to do.
Yeah. How do we do during this summer? Did we get it all done?
What if we find some place we want to move to? Yeah, exactly. See? Then
I'd have to go get some money and buy it right now.
That's what I'm saying. So do you have a car story? We're going to slow down this podcast and tell the car story.
Maybe
we were talking about it today, though.
Well, because I took you to Willow Springs Raceway and you'd never been there, and I was trying to tell you about all the movies that had been filmed there, all of the history of race car guys that had been there that were world famous race car dudes, back in the late 50s, early 60s and 70s. And then, I used to go there as a kid as soon as I got my driver's license and I could borrow a car before I had one. We'd race up there and go see the guys. And, the only car story I've really got was I worked in Lancaster at a place called Grubel BMW. Now I think they're in Palmdale and they got a pretty big dealership. But back then, in the late 80s, they had a little tiny dealership out by themselves near Sierra Highway. And I worked there. And it was right about the time they came out with an M. I think maybe they already had these out, but when I got to the dealership, I was learning BMW. I'd never worked on BMWs before. And they had an M series. You had your 3 Series, your 5 Series, your 7 Series cars. Okay. But then they had an M3. And an M3 was a BMW with a special little logo on it, like it had 3 colored bars, like a dark blue, light blue, and a red, and then an M. And that emblem, that logo was, this is a fucking race car. And they were street legal. You could buy them street legal, but you could also buy them and modify them to go even faster.
Okay.
So out at Willow Springs, because this was in Lancaster, and when I was working there, then this race team came from Willow Springs and said, hey, we're going to start teaching people how to race cars. We're going to train stunt drivers, and the public wants to pay $1,000. We'll give you some race car lessons. And so they came in and they bought some M3s from the dealership. Well, part of it was when they came in, they said, hey, anybody at the dealership, if you want some free race car lessons, you can meet us on a Saturday or something, come out there. So there was like 2 Saturdays to go do this. And I went to both of them. Both of them, they had a big tent set up out there with all the cars on the track, and it was summertime. And they had a bunch of food you could eat, and they had some famous race car guys out there and some stunt car guys. And they gave everybody lessons, and you had to be humble about it. And like, I know how to fucking drive. Watch what I can do. You don't know how to do shit until you're actually out there on the racetrack. And, you come back on a lap and you're like, yeah, how did I do? And they're like, yeah, you were doing 65 or 70 and we're doing 140. You look shitty out there, but we're going to teach you how to drive a little faster. They can't teach you the whole thing in a few lessons. So I listened, and every time that they said, raise your hand if you want to go, I raised my hand, jumped in the car, and just listened. But I got to get a little bit of an education from some real race car guys, some old school race car guys from the 60s and 70s, and I got to drive on the Willow Springs racetrack.
In one of those M series?
In one of those M series cars,
very
yeah.
Cool.
And eventually, after when you got done with a bunch of stuff, then they let you go by yourself as long as they were pretty sure you weren't going to crash it, which I didn't. But it was a lot of fun learning from those guys, and I can officially say it wasn't a race. There was no racing. I was by myself.
But you rode on it.
I can say I was on the
cool.
Willow Springs Raceway track, and so that was kind of cool. But I forgot about that until we saw it today with you, and I went, oh, shit, I forgot I was here. And then I told you that. But there was a few times I'd been there before, but that was probably the most fun.
That's really cool. That's a very cool story.
Anyway, that's it for a race car story. I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear or not, but
that's very cool.
Anyway.
So how many people are listening? Do we know?
I'm not even sure if we're still on the air. Hang on, let me see.
Are we on the air?
Well, it says we are. If I refresh it, it'll tell me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about how. Although I will say we have triple the numbers we had last week. That makes it sound
good.
better, doesn't it?
Even though it's a different time slot.
Yeah, we missed. I knew we were going to miss today's. Here's the problem. Anybody listening on the radio station, Discord, Trippy Pineapple runs our Discord server. It's discord.gg/Gen X Talks. It's on our website, genxtalks.com website, but it's free. But it's just chat rooms. There's all kinds of chat rooms in there, but one of them's called KGXT Radio. And if you go there, we put up an announcement. We will not be live at 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So people kept texting today going, how come your podcast isn't on? How come you're not listening? I said, well, did you go to the KGXT room and look? Every one of them. I didn't know there was a KGXT room to go look. So we really need to bridge the gap between the two on there.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, there's a few listeners on right now, but
all right.
I think we did okay today.
I think it was good.
Other than I have to dock your pay for fucking up one of the most obvious things ever. Even after you said, I got it, I'm ready to go, got it. And then you're like, what? When you do that to me, as a producer, as a director.
Get over it.
That is not where I was going with it. I wasn't going to say get over it.
Get over it.
I was going to say that sanctions are in order.
Oh, brother.
Docking your pay
I'm so scared.
Is in order.
Get over it.
All right. Well, how long do you think we've been on?
Oh, my God. Hour and 28 minutes.
Hour and what?
28 minutes.
Oh, yeah. You were closer at hour 19. I thought you said an hour and 20 minutes.
No, 28.
It just feels like a long time, doesn't it?
It does. I've been sitting a lot today.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't change the thing from bottom of the glass to podcast. So it's been saying it had the jar and BOTGN up the whole time. Last time I changed it to podcast.
Way to go.
Can I change it now?
Way to go, broadcast professional.
All right. We'll say goodnight, Gracie, and we'll
Bye,
call it a night.
everyone. Thanks for listening to our podcast. We'll see you next week.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another podcast with my wife and I, Gen X Talks Podcast on KGXT Radio, broadcasting from the KGXT studios. Please remember to tip your waiter on the way out. Try the veal. We'll be here all week. We'll try next Thursday. We'll try to be on time. Remember two things. Wherever you go in this world, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. You're mocking me now. You're mocking me.